Hello students, last video we studied about the elasticity of demand. Chapter 3, elasticity of demand. In this we studied the concept, types of elasticity of demand and types of the price elasticity of demand. This is the part 2 we are going to study. In this we study the methods of measurement of the price elasticity of demand. We are going to study how we measure the price elasticity of demand. So in this measurement, we study about the three types. First, it is the ratio or percentage method. Then we study about the total expenditure method, the point method. These are the three methods which we study about the measurement of the price elasticity of demand. In the last video, we studied about the price elasticity of demand types. Now we are going to study about the measurement. The same things we have we have to keep in the mind. So this before only we studied that this elasticity of demand was developed by Professor Alfred Marshall. So according to him, Professor Marshall, what you mean by the percentage method? We while measuring the elasticity of demand, we studied about the percentage change. In the same way, this also is like that, but how we will measure it, that we have to go to the proper way. Very easy it is, but in economics, when you study that, you think everything looks same. So when everything looks same, what happens? There will be a confusion arise for the students of economics. That is why I said take the textbook, take a lecture note and keep it in front of you. You studied each topic, you mention it, and it will be easy for you. Now, this ratio method is developed by Professor Marshall. According to this method, elasticity of demand is measured by dividing the percentage change in demand by the percentage change in the price. We have to divide it. Percentage method is also known as arithmetic method. Okay, so other name given to this percentage method, it is arithmetic method. So how does the price elasticity is measured? ED is equal to percentage change in the quantity demanded upon the percentage change in the price. In a formula given, you can see that ED is equal to percentage change in Q upon percentage change in price P. So when we develop that is the change in Q upon Q into change in P upon P. In this way, when means percentage change, the change in Q upon Q into the P upon change in price. So what is quantity demanded and what is price? You can see a numerical example given. In the schedule, the price, quantity demanded and the formula is given. Now you see the price what it is 20. According to the price 20, the quantity demanded is what? The quantity demanded is 10. So the price, the original price, the first price it was 20 and the quantity demanded it was 10. So the original price P is equal to what? 20. Now you can see after that the second price you can see 25. What is the new price? It is 25. According to the new price, what is the quantity demanded? It is 9. Got it? Now, you can see in the schedule formula given, that is change in Q upon Q into P upon change in P. Q matlab, Q is the quantity demanded, P is the price. Now, what is the original price? It is 20. The change in the price, it is, what is the change in the price? 25. Now, what is the difference between this? What increase it happened in the price? 5 number, that is 5 rupees increased. Accordingly, what is the decrease in the quantity demanded? 1. So, symbolically, if you put it, change in quantity demanded, what you will write? 1. What is the Q original? That is 10. So 1 upon 10 into what is the price? The price is 20. Change in the price, delta P 5. So 1 upon 10 into 20 upon 5. In this way, when you calculate it, you can get that ED is equal to 0.4. When you divide this 1 upon 10 into 20 upon 5, you will get 0.4. Got it? Now, I will explain in Hindi. द परसेंटेज चेंज मेथड में आपको एक शेड्यूल दिख रहे हैं आपको, उसमें प्राइस भी दिया है, क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड भी दिया है और उसका फॉर्मूला भी दिया है. प्राइस पहले दिया है 20 के हिसाब से क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड कितना है 10. अभी प्राइस चेंज हुआ है, कितना नीचे का प्राइस देखो 25 हुआ है और क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड में प्राइस इंक्रीज हुआ है, तब क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड में क्या हुआ है, कम हुआ है, कितना 9. तो कितना कम हुआ है 1. तो अपन फॉर्मूला जब डालते डेल्टा क्यू, दैट इज चेंज इन क्यू. क्वांटिटी डिमांडेड में चेंज कितना हुआ है 1. पहले 10 था, पहले का 10, तो 1 अपॉन 10 इंटू प्राइस कितना था 20. चेंज कितना हुआ 5, तो नीचे चेंज डेल्टा पी में 5 आएंगे. व्हेन वी डिवाइडेड 1 अपॉन 10 इंटू 20 अपॉन 5, what we will get 0.4. अपन को 0. आप कैलकुलेटर लेके डिवाइड करके देखो, आपको 0.4 मिलेंगे आंसर. When you get this 0.4, what will you understand that? You will 0.4 is less than 1. So elasticity of demand is, in the percentage method, the elasticity of demand is less than 1, according to this numerical example. So you got percentage method, what you have to write. In the percentage method, how we are measuring the price elasticity of demand. In the percentage method, the price elasticity of demand is measured by dividing percentage change in demand by the percentage change in price. And the formula, you can, from the schedule, you can just calculate it. Got, students? The next method we are studying, total expenditure method. Now this method was developed by Professor Marshall. In this method, total amount of expenditure before and after the price change is compared. अब हम लोग कितना पैसा खर्च किया है, कब, प्राइस चेंज होने के पहले और प्राइस चेंज होने के बाद. जब इसको दोनों को कंपेयर करेंगे, हमको एक कैलकुलेशन मिलेगी. मीन्स we can do the calculation in, first we studied about percentage method, उसको arithmetic method भी बोलते, वो भी कैलकुलेट कर सकते, नहीं तो हम ए मेथड से, एक्सपेंडिचर मेथड से कैलकुलेट कर सकते. वेरी सिंपल इज दिस. इन दिस मेथड what it is said that amount of expenditure before and after the price is compared. Here the total expenditure refers to the product of price and quantity demanded. टोटल एक्सपेंडिचर मतलब प्रोडक्ट प्राइस, प्रोडक्ट ऑफ प्राइस मीन्स, प्रोडक्ट ऑफ प्राइस मीन्स व्हाट इट इज, व्हाट इज मीन बाय प्रोडक्ट ऑफ प्राइस मीन्स द प्राइस ऑफ द प्रोडक्ट. इन दिस we explain the price of the product and what, according to the price, what the quantity demanded. So total expenditure is equal to price into quantity demand. Price into quantity, मतलब एक रुपए के लिए 2 लिया है ना, तो उसको मल्टीप्लाई करते, 2 रुपए के लिए अपन 4 चीज लिया है. अब आप, you may be gone to the bill, you can see that in the bill if you take 10 pence, what it is written, 10 into 5 rupees for 1 pen. If you take 10 into 5, what is the price of the pen? 50 rupees. So this only, that is the expenditure which we gave. हम जो खर्च कर रहे हैं, दुकान में जाके पेन लिया है, हम पेपर्स लिया है, बुक्स लिया है, 5 बुक लिया है, 10 रुपए का 5 बुक, तो what will write, प्राइस कितना है 10 रुपया, कितना बुक लिया है 5, तो 10 into 5 कितना है 50. प्राइस ऑफ द पेन लिया है 10 पेन लिया है, कितना पेन लिया 10, प्राइस कितना है 5, तो 10, उसको भी 50. तो ये खर्चा जितना किया है उसको हम कंपेयर कर रहे हैं. Got it? So what is total expenditure method? This method is that here the total expenditure is equal to price into quantity demanded. Now in this way we can say that there are three comparison is there. Relative elastic demand. When we compare, we get the three measurement. Which are the three? Elasticity of demand is greater than 1, elasticity of demand is less than 1, elasticity of demand is equal to 1. These are the three things we get. So for elasticity of demand is greater than 1, we studied in the types of price elasticity of demand. इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड 1 से अगर ज्यादा है उसको हम रिलेटिवली इलास्टिक डिमांड बोलते हैं. रिलेटिवली इलास्टिक डिमांड को कब बोलते हैं? जब इलास्टिसिटी ऑफ डिमांड 1 से लेस देन 1 कम है. सो यू डोंट गो इनटू द कंफ्यूजन. यू कैन सी इन द diagram in the schedule given there. See, very simply I will explain it. Price. Now you can see in the first A, B, C. What is given? A, B, C. And the price of A is 10, 20. What is the 10 and 20? The change in the price it is given. Pehle this, then 20, then 30, 40, 30, 60. So A ka price mein there is a change in the price. 10 per unit quantity demanded is 6. जब price 10 rupees था, quantity demanded कितना है? 6. Got it? तो 10 into 6 कितना मिला? 60. Price क्या हुआ? Increase हुआ. Price increased. How much it increased the price? 20 it become. Now what is the quantity demanded? 5. So 20 into 5, 100. Got it? Now the change, what happened? When the price rose to 20, the quantity demanded, what happened? Increase or decrease? Decreased. 10 rupees it was 6 and 20 rupees it was 5. But it decreased. But it decreased 50%. There was a rise in price. But did the quantity demanded fall in 50%? No, it didn't fall. So now what is say that 60, 10 into 6 is equal to 60, 20 into 5 is equal to 100. So ED is greater than, so the change is more than the price. So ED is greater than 1. Elasticity demand is greater than 1. In B you can see 30 was the first price and 40. Now for 30, the commodity B को पहले price 30 था, then 40. 30 जब price था उसने कितना quantity demand किया? Units 4 किया है. तो 30 into 4, 30 into 4 कितना? 120. जब उसको 10 रुपये कम हुआ तो उसने कितना डिमांड किया? 3. Now 40 into 3, 120. तो इसमें जो चेंज होने के कारण उसने वैसे ही कम किया. तो दोनों का जो मल्टीप्लिकेशन में हमको टोटल क्वांटिटी P into Q हमको 120, 120 मिला. So when both are 120, चेंज कैसा हुआ? सेम है. So elasticity of demand is 1. Now next C, the C commodity C का पहले price, first price it was 50. When the price was 50, quantity demanded was 2. Then the price increased to 60. Okay. Then the quantity demanded decreased to 1. Now 50 into 200, 60 into 160, elasticity is less than 1. Because the price, the first is less than the second price change. The quantity demanded in the first, see, 5 into 2 is 100 and 60 into 1 is 60. So 100 is more than 60. So elasticity is less. Now again from the beginning, for commodity A, we can see 10 into 6, 60. When it becomes 20, 20 into 500. Now 100 is more than 60. When the change happened, it is more than the initial price, initial commodity purchased, the initial commodity demanded. So the elasticity is greater than 1. Now in B, 30 and 30, that is 30 into 4, 120, 40 into 3, 120. So both the prices, the change, total price, outlay price, it is the expenditure, it is same. So the elasticity is equal to 1. And the C commodity, that price of the C, we can say 50 and 60, 50 into 200 and 60 into 160. So the change is less. So in this way also we can measure the price elasticity of demand. Next we can see that point method or geometric method. In this point method, it is what 5 elasticity we studied. In the 5 elasticity we studied, and accordingly we are mentioning that the point method, how we will arrange this or how we will study this. Professor Marshall has developed another method to the measure elasticity of demand, which is known as point method or geometric method. At any point of the demand curve, elasticity of demand can be measured in the following formula. The demand curve may be either linear or as shown below. Linear method means when the demand curve is a linear, it is a straight line. You can see that in the diagram, point method diya hai. On diagram, y-axis and x-axis is given. Demand curve is a line that join the both axes. Okay, now it is a straight line. We extend the demand curve to meet y-axis at A and x-axis at B. Demand curve को extend किया है. Y-axis में demand curve touch हो रहे हैं, that point को हम A, that we given the A, and x-axis को the demand curve touch हो रहे हैं, उसको point को B दिया है. Got? Now you see that in the demand curve there are 5 points taken. We have measured 5 types of elasticity of demand. So first one is elasticity is equal to infinitive. Second point P2, elasticity is greater than 1. Third point, that is elasticity is equal to 1. Fourth point, elasticity is less than 1. And fifth point, elasticity is equal to 0. So 5 points it is mentioned. Now any point you can take in this diagram, in this curve. So we can measure it. How we will measure? Point elasticity of demand is lower segment of tangent below the given point upon the upper segment of the tangent below the given point. Now how you will measure it? Let us assume that AB is the demand curve. We are assuming that AB is the demand curve and its length is 8 centimeter. अपन assume करना AB demand curve है और उसका length कितना है? 8 centimeter. Got it? Assume it. So AB is the demand curve and the length is 8 centimeter. At point P में, so if we take 8 centimeter at point P, what it is that at point P, the point elasticity is measured as P is equal to PB upon PA. Now PB is the, हमने क्या formula दिया है? Lower segment of the tangent below the given point. So if P is the point, okay, the P is the point. Now lower segment कितना है? What is the lower segment? That is, lower segment is PB. P to B, the lower segment, and upper segment is P to A. Now, so when we, so the middle point you can see in the middle point, the P is given. Elasticity, where elasticity is 1, the P is given. Now, when we divided this into 8, in the middle point, the PB upon PA. So, PB is 4 as we given 8 centimeter. So, in the middle when we divide it, it is coming 4 and 4. So, elasticity of E is equal to 1, that we are going to calculate now. So, the lower segment is PB, the upper segment is PA. When PB is upon PA, 4 upon 4, then what we get the answer? 1. So, we say that elasticity is equal to 1. And next point, at the point P1, you take the point P1. You can see the point below the P, the P1 point is given. In that, when we take the P1 point, what we can get? P1B1 upon P1A. Then P1B1, what it is? 2 it came, because in the last point below the P1 came, and you can see in the line that is. So we 2 upon the above part, how much it is there? 6. Total distance it is 8. We are assuming it. You can assume any number and you can calculate accordingly. You can have to measure that आपको ये देखना है lower segment of the tangent below the given point, upper segment. तो आप जो point ले रहे हैं उसका lower segment पहले लेना, उसका lower segment और then उसको divide करना upper segment को, तब आपको जो 1 से ज्यादा जब मिलते हैं इस हिसाब से आपको इलास्टिसिटी मेजर कर सकते हैं. Got it? So this formula you have to take, and the any point you can take, you can give any number. We are assuming the textbook page number 32 which is given, we assumed it as 8 centimeter. So we got the 2 upon 6, we got the 0.33. 0.33 is less than 1. So the elasticity of demand is less than 1. ED is less than 1. In the point P1 you can see that. P2 also, if you take what you can say the P2 point, in the P2 you see the P2 above the E is equal to 1, that P2 is given. In that P2 point, how much? 6. So below segment, the lower segment, it is P2B, P2 to B. So P2 to B is 6 and P2 to A is 2. So lower segment 6 upon 2. So what you get the answer? The answer is 3. 3 is more than 1. So the elasticity demand is more than 1. In this way, you are measuring for the point or geometric method. In the point or geometric method, what you have to write it? Point method, definition you gave, what is the point method? How you will write? Elasticity demand, which is the point method or geometric method. At any point on the demand curve, elasticity demand measures with the help of the following formula. The formula is lower segment of the tangent below the given point upon upper segment of the given tangent given above the point. We have shown the linear method. In the linear method, demand curve is a straight line where x is extended to y-axis and a-axis, so it touches both the axes at the point A and B. So the demand curve is given the name AB. Got it? Then 5 points are taken and accordingly we are measuring it. The next it is non-linear method. It is easy than the this method. Now, what is the non-linear method? Definition given for the non-linear method. When the demand curve is non-linear, it is not a line. It is a convex to origin. It is price elasticity of demand. We have to draw a tangent AB. Now, in the last linear, we have touched the A and B. Like that, one tangent we draw for the non-linear, touching the given point, the demand curve extends to meet y-axis at the point A and x-axis below the point B. Now, in this also, the same formula we are putting, that is the lower segment of the tangent below the given point upon the upper segment of the tangent below the given point. In this way, we explain that EB, see you can see EB is equal to EA. EB is equal to EA. E is the equilibrium. So EB is equal to EA. Then EB is greater than EA. If EB is greater than EA, then what it is? It is relatively elasticity is greater than 1. If EB is lesser than EA, then it is less elasticity. So this much only you have to concentrate in that. In the non-linear, we have what you have to do, the demand curve is a constant. Then we draw a tangent AB that touches the x-axis and y-axis. Then we are taking the point and the lower segment and the upper segment we are taking and we are measuring it. Same thing, but here we have a curve is drawn and in this curve also we can measure it. If the demand curve touches the tangent, that point is said to be what? Equilibrium, and elasticity of demand is equal to 1. And the upper curve, it is what is? It is greater than, and the lower curve is less than. In this way, we have to imagine this. These are the three methods that we can measure elasticity. Any method one we can apply it and we go. Okay, students. So these are the things which you have to consider. Now we are just going through the factors influencing the elasticity of demand. Which are the factors that influence the elasticity of demand? There are 9 factors given. Means the change elasticity, we studied about the factors affecting demand. Okay, in the same way, there are 9 factors that influence the elasticity of demand. First, it is nature of the commodity. We purchase a commodity according to the nature. How the commodity is there, in that way we purchase the commodity. By means we can means apply this to purchasing the commodity. We can classify the commodities as necessary, comforts and luxury. For nature of the commodity are 3 types, which are the necessary, then comforts and luxury. Demand for the necessary like food grains, medicine, etc. is relatively inelastic. It is that does not affect the price. Inelastic it is. Relatively inelastic, because if there is a change in price or like that, this does not change. We purchase the food things which we want daily, so that is the necessaries. Now comforts, what it comes, the relatively the comforts, it comes the car, perfume, furniture, so that relatively elastic. So you have to just according to the nature of the commodity, the necessaries inelastic it is, and the luxuries it is elastic. The availability of substitutes. Demand for the commodity will be more elastic if the substitutes are available, because we can, for example, lemon juice, orange juice, sugarcane juice, it is substitutes. If the lemon juice is more price, we will go to the other, like that changes will be there. Then number of users come. The single use have less elastic. Multi users are more elastic. If the things are used for one particular use, then the demand also that does not change like that. Habits. Next point, habits make the demand for the certain goods relatively inelastic. For example, addicted goods, that is drugs and all that is habit, or tea or coffee. So in these habits, what will happen? It is relatively inelastic. If there is a change in price also, it does not affect the demand. Inelastic it is. People purchase because it is the habit. Durability means the demand for the durable goods is relatively elastic. Example, furniture, durable goods. That is elastic. Durable means which last for a long time. Washing machine, it is the example given. Perishable goods like milk, vegetables, all this inelastic it is. So there is this. You just go through that. Complementary goods, you know that which are the complementary goods which are demanded together. So these goods are, for example, falling price of mobile handset may lead to rise in demand for the SIM cards. All that example is given in the textbook. Demand for the commodity which is used in conjunction with the commodity to satisfy a single want, relatively inelastic. Income of the consumer. When the consumer's income change, demand for the goods usually inelastic. Income change inelastic, because if the price rise also they will purchase. There is no change. Price rise and the demand for that doesn't happen, because the income of the consumer is changing, and like that only. The demand pattern of a very rich and extremely poor person is rarely affected by the significant change in the price. Very rich and extremely poor, they don't know. They purchase little, the poor purchase that much only, the rich will purchase no problem for him. Now, urgency of need. Urgency of need means good which are urgent needed will have relatively inelastic. Example, medicines. And luxury it is inelastic it is. So, in these factors influence the elasticity demand according to the nature. Is the elasticity elastic or inelastic, that you are going to study. So, you have to consider what are the things, which are the things in that way. Time period also. What is the time period? Elasticity of demand is always related to the period of time. It varies with the length of time period. Generally speaking, longer the duration of the period, greater will be the elasticity of the demand, and vice versa. This is because a consumer can change the consumption habits in a long period of time. So in a long period, that happens that is elastic. Now, why we study this elasticity of demand? Why? What are the main things that concern and why we study the elasticity of demand? What is the essentiality in that? The 6 points are given for the why the elasticity of demand is studied. That 6 points which is given, it is there. First one, importance to the producer, importance to the government, importance in factor pricing, importance in foreign trade, public utilities, proportion of expenditure. So for this only we studied the this elasticity of demand. So in the higher classes you will just study elaborately about this importance. Every producer had to decide the price of his product at which he has to sell it. For this purpose, elasticity of demand becomes important. So how we have to sell the product? How does the people changes when there is a pricing change? How the people change the purchasing pattern? This the producer should know, and accordingly he is studying the elasticity of demand. Now what it helps the government? The government taxation policies of the government is based on the concept of elasticity. The government tax a product according to the elasticity of demand. Those commodities whose demand is relatively inelastic will be taxed more because it not affect their demand much and vice versa. So which things are taxed more? The things which is relatively inelastic. So that commodities the tax is more. Factor pricing means to decide the price of the factors of production. Which are the factors of production? The land, labor, capital and all this. So the price, for the price it is very essential. Foreign trade, it is very important. What is the foreign trade? In the foreign trade, import and export. To decide the price of the commodity, the concept of elasticity is useful for determining the terms and condition of the foreign trade. The country is exporting commodity for which demand is relatively inelastic. Then what can raise the price? For example, the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries, that OPEC, have increased the price of the oil several times. Why? Because there is even the price also rise. People will demand. The demand will not fall in that respect where the price is rising. Do you stop running a vehicle when the price of the petrol is raised? No. You will spend, you will cut off the other things. But for that particular things, you will not decrease the use. Then public utilities. What are the public utilities? In the case of public utilities means railway, which have an inelastic demand. Government can either subsidize or nationalize them to avoid the consumer's exploitation. So in this, elasticity of demand is very much important to study and all this. Then proportionate of expenditure. If the proportion of expenditure in the person's income small, then the demand for the product is relatively inelastic. For example, newspaper. If the proportion of the expenditure is large, then the demand for the product relatively elastic. So in this way, there are some 6 points that why the elasticity of demand is very important. In an economy to increase the growth rate and all that aspect, this elasticity of demand is taken into consideration and accordingly to study. So students, these two topics just go through. It is very easy. You learn the point that what is the importance of elasticity demand for the producers, for the government, factor pricing, important for the foreign trade, public utilities, proportion of expenditure. These are the 6 points. And in the slide, you can see the factor influencing the demand. Just in the textbook, you just read in the page number 33 and 34 it is given. Okay, students. Thank you.